Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Oh, what a show we have. Hour two, we have America's Governor, Ron DeSantis. Of course, we have Iran to talk about. A lot there to talk about.
Hey, the Florida governor is going to be on. Probably might want to listen to this.
I see a column in USA Today. The most beautiful part of Trump's bill is it helps him defy federal.
You're cutting that off. Oh, that fucking aggravates me when that fucking happens.
By somebody named Chris Brennan.
See, whatever he said,
you see, the position of the ruling class establishment, and that includes the media. Whenever I use those phrases, it includes the media. Their position is if you defy them and their agenda, then it is you who's defying federal courts, defying the Constitution, and threatening our country. Over the course of the weekend, starting Friday and up to this morning, we've had 3 of these federal rogue district court judges doing what they do, claiming a role in how this country's policies and agenda are to be set. They're not legal courtrooms. They don't deal with legal issues. These are policies dressed up as legal issues. And they're more than happy to participate in this because they're not subject to you, the voters. They're not subject to the consent of the governed. That is you again. They're not subject to anything. They've seized power that does not belong to them. Seized it. And the Supreme Court still has done nothing effective. Now, their term usually ends by the end of June, so we'll see if they do anything effective. They'll probably confer some form of birthright citizenship as a constitutional matter on millions of people. I don't know. We're going to find out. But I want to get to this point. This guy writes, federal judges keep issuing orders blocking some of President Trump's actions. Look how he understates it. Federal judges have issued scores and scores of orders, the vast majority of which have blunted President Trump's promised policies on which he was elected in a landslide. He says, not because there's some judicial conspiracy to thwart him, but because he clearly doesn't care about following the law. Got it? So Donald Trump's not following the law. And what's interesting is most of these judges, we don't even know what laws they're talking about that he violated. It is they who are violating immigration law. It is they who have decided what belongs on the websites and departments and agencies. It is they who've tried to block the executive branch from executive branch data, and on and on and on. He writes, in case after case, lawyers for the Trump administration play fast and loose with the facts, trying to game the system to circumvent the authority of the judiciary, a co-equal branch of government with the presidency and Congress. Then how have they circumvented the judiciary? Trump's Republican allies in Congress, I want to get to this, and it's important, are trying to help him hobble those judges, slipping into oxymoronically named One Big Beautiful Bill Act that passed in the U.S. House on May 22, a short provision that would hamper judges from enforcing, quote, contempt citations for failure to comply with an injunction or temporary restraining order. Now, this guy is such a low IQ partisan buffoon. He doesn't explain to his readers, all 7 of them, that Congress created these judges and these courts that he's whining about, that Congress has jurisdiction over them and can take any aspect of their jurisdiction away from them, can defund them and close them down altogether. It would be utterly and completely constitutional. That's the way it's set up. But if you read his piece and you're a typical left-wing, low-IQ moron, you'd have no idea. And to me, it's about time Congress is asserting its constitutional power. He says those are exactly the type of recent rulings that have so enraged Trump. It's not just enraging Trump. It's not just about Trump and emotions and all that. It's about the Constitution. He says the bill doesn't just stymie judges going forward. It would apply retroactively the rulings already in place. So what? The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, he writes, which passed in the House by the narrowest of margins and now goes to the Senate. So what? Now, it doesn't matter. It's called majority rule, you jackass. The narrowest of margins, isn't that what they did when they destroyed our economy? With their barely majority Democrats in the Senate and the House? It's a budget package that offers tax cuts for the wealthy. See where this guy's head is? Ending Medicaid health insurance coverage for millions of low-income Americans. No, it doesn't. For illegal aliens, Americans who are both mentally and physically fit to work, requires them to work 20 long hours a week in order to get free health care. One paragraph on page 562 and 563 of the 1,116-page bill. So this guy's basically burping up what the leftists told him because he can't read. Not 1,116 pages. Raised alarms for reasons that have nothing to do with America's budget or safety net programs or debt. That paragraph invokes a federal rule for civil court procedures, requiring anyone seeking an injunction or temporary restraining order to block an action by the Trump administration to post a financial bond. Want to challenge Trump? Pay up, the provision said. Excuse me.
You fucking pigeons.
It only applies to Trump. It doesn't apply to a future Democrat president. Moron. It applies, period. And what they're trying to do, and by the way, it's often done in European courts in civil cases, is that the loser pays. The defendant, the plaintiff, the petitioner, they pay. Erwin Chemerinsky, who they go to, this idiot, this dean of the Berkeley School of Law, University of California, called it unprecedented. Now, what's unprecedented are what these judges are doing to our country. Greatest impact will be in preventing enforcement of all existing temporary restraining orders and preliminary injunctions. If a bond has not been posted, and rarely were there bonds required, he wrote in an email, the many components of the One Big Beautiful Act received great scrutiny, but the restriction on legal challenges has received less. Loser pays, again, is a fairly common position in courts throughout the West. Again, throughout Europe. In America, we don't have it.
The fuck out of here.
So what the administration, I think it's in support of this, but what the Congress, the House is saying is, look, you got to put up a bond of some kind. You got to put up some money. So if you lose your case, then you have to pay for the case because you're filing case after case after case. And by the way, these aren't poor people who are filing these things. These are attorneys general of various states. These are wealthy public sector union bosses. These are all kinds of groups that are very well to do and have multi-billionaires behind them. Let's keep going. Trump isn't alone in raging against federal judges who insist that his administration does follow the law. That disdain of judicial oversight trickles down through the ranks. So it goes to the vice president who makes the point correctly. Another Ivy League trained lawyer, U.S. Solicitor General John Sawyer, refused to commit to the Trump administration obeying federal appellate court rulings when he was questioned by a pair of U.S. Supreme Court justices. I've explained that, but again, this columnist is a moron. So this columnist would have supported the Circuit Court ruling in Dred Scott and the Supreme Court upholding the Circuit Court ruling. Moron. And Plessy versus Ferguson. Moron. And Korematsu. That's right, the rounding up of 120,000 Japanese Americans. Moron. Should the government have gone along with that? Guess what? The country didn't go along with Dred Scott. We had what's called a civil war, which effectively was the only way to overturn the Supreme Court, which basically ruled you can never get rid of slavery. It's what effectively it ruled. I think the decision was 6-2, 6-3. One of them may have recused himself, or they didn't have a full team of justices there. But whatever it was, that's the Trump theme running through it all. A taunt, a dare, a defiance of the law. That must certainly appeal to Trump's most fervent supporters, but it's not what the vast majority of Americans want. A Marquette Law School poll, national survey released May 22, found that 79% of 1,004 people asked said that Trump should obey federal court orders. Okay, is that how you ask the question? How about this question? Should federal district judges obey the Constitution and rule within their districts as opposed to national orders? I think we'd win that one big, Mr. Producer, don't you? So this guy's a phony, a fraud, a moron, Chris Brennan, on X, formerly known as Twitter, a USA Today columnist. What do you have, 3 brain cells to rub together? That makes you a USA Today columnist? Many people think USA Today is sort of an adult coloring book, you know, Mr. Producer? Lots of color, little substance, and to the extent there's substance, you get morons like Chris Brennan. Right now, we have a judicial tyranny growing in our country. A judicial tyranny. By the way, folks, is everybody out there today? I hope so. Hope you had a great weekend. I hope you remembered our heroes who passed away defending everything we stand for here. We stand on their shoulders. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and you have a great week. May I just suggest that early on you go over to Amazon, pre-order your copy of On Power, where I cover all this and 1,000 other things that you're going to find very compelling. The book, I agree, comes out in 2 months. We're going to launch it on Hannity's show. We're going to have a full Levin show Sunday night on it too. I want you to have it in front of you. I want you to see what a game changer it is. If enough people have it and look at it, read it. And it's not a gossip book like this Jake Tapper book, which is shocking to me. Even conservative TV shows keep promoting this book. This guy shouldn't be making a nickel off of what he did. But I don't write books about myself. The one book we did was Rescuing Sprite, but even then it was about our doggies. But every other book I write is not a Mark Levin memoir or how-to book or what I learned going to 7-Eleven, you know, stuff like that. It's not that. These books are for you. And if you put them on your shelf, you can use them on a regular basis and so forth. But when you sit at the dinner table, on the breakfast table, on the weekends, when you're with family and friends, you can engage on a level that will be really eye-opening to them. Very, very important. And I don't do this because let's all go to college again, or those who haven't gone to college, let's go to college. No, I do it because I'm pulling together principles, philosophy, and I'm applying them to what's taking place in our country and in the world today. And these books, whether it's Liberty and Tyranny, American Marxism, and so forth, they become almost iconic. Either people quote them and give them attribution, or they take words and phrases and arguments out of them. But this is for you, our special relationship. And I tell you from a financial position, if you pre-order a book up until the day it's released, if they drop the discount to 20%, 50%, whatever it is, and then raise it to 10%, you get the best discount they offer from today to January 29th. It always gets to be a bigger and bigger discount. I'm just telling you the trade, how it works. But I know this book is for you, and I know you're going to love it. Just grab it. You can pre-order it. And by the way, Father's Day is around the corner. You can put a little note in the in the card to your father, your grandfather, your husband, and just tell them the book's on the way. And the minute it comes out, you will have it at your doorstep. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hi, I'm George, an economics major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with the Constitution Minute.
The Declaration of Independence is more than a bold letter to a British king written by upstart colonists, although it very much is that. The Declaration explains the promise of America, that all men and women are born equal in their possession of natural rights, and that the proper exercise of these rights can lead to a full and deeply satisfying life. Just as the Declaration explains America's promise, the Constitution upholds that promise. Its purpose is to protect the rights of all of us, our natural rights. This establishes the possibility, not the guarantee, that we can have a good life. This is true freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket Constitution, visit constitutionminute.com.
This Constitution Minute was furnished by Hillsdale College.
On 270 northbound, after 28, an accident moved to the right shoulder, but traffic is still slow from Old Georgetown Road. More delays on 270 northbound between Flopper Road and Middlebrook Road and between 121 and 85. And also you will find delays on the GW Parkway northbound between Spout Run and the Beltway and southbound is slow from the CIA headed to the Spout Run Parkway. Earlier accident on westbound 66 between US 15 and Haymarket and Old Tavern Road cleared. Those delays have eased, but it is still slow westbound between the Beltway and 123 and between the Fairfax County Parkway and Business 234. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 10 forecast.
Tonight, scattered showers, lows around 56. Tomorrow, widespread rain, highs in the mid-60s.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Making sense of your morning.
Lots of coverage here on that developing story.
O'Connor and Company, weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Larry O'Connor here getting you through your morning.
Making sense of Washington.
Asking some very specific questions, some legitimate questions.
Making sense of the double standard.
And here's the latest example.
Making sense of the headlines.
Let me break it down for you, because there's plenty to break down here.
O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Mornings from 5 to 9. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm Latoya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Jamie McMurray, professional race car driver here with cab driver Artie. Professional cab driver.
Sorry, professional cab driver Artie. Drinking responsibly is knowing your limits. If you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org.
So, you think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal Race car for a spin?
Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
Hi, I'm Vince Callanes, host of The Vince Show and Vince Podcast. It's a show with an obsessive focus on what's good for America. I'll give you the truth beneath the headlines of all of the nation's top stories. The Vince Show is redefining news talk with in-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day, every day. The Vince Show and Vince Podcast.
WMAL's Vince Callanes, weekdays at noon. News Talk 105.9. WMAL, making sense of the news. WMAL's Vince Callanes, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
When we come back, I'll start it now. We have a few minutes. What is a globalist? What's an internationalist? What's a globalist? What's an internationalist? Don't get involved in the activities of foreign countries. Is that pretty much it, Mr. Producer? What's a forever war? What causes forever wars? It's very fascinating to me. Because there appear to be individuals who condemn globalism and interventionism who are the greatest globalists and interventionists in my lifetime when it comes to foreign policy. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. Now, the consent of the government and representative government, what is that? It's a republic, or in some countries, a parliamentary democracy. And what's that about? It means the people who live in a sovereign state get to decide their own fate. Isn't that correct? So we have these terms being thrown around. I actually heard the vice president say we need a different foreign policy than the founders. I had no idea what he's talking about. That's just me. Was there something wrong with the founders' foreign policy? I mean, they did found our country. They broke away from Britain. I'm not clear what he means. But that aside, I want to get into these terms. I think it's important. We'll be right back. Perplexed.
outside the streams, isn't it?
Perplexed.
You see somebody in here and then they turn around and
What
they
is a
think that
globalist? What is an interventionist?
I don't tell people to come in, it's public.
My friends, my dear friends, radio and TV talk about this massively successful Middle East trip by the administration. Well, why was it massively successful? And I don't necessarily disagree. I want to get our terms straight. Because of all the deals we made with Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and what we did with Syria, helps to keep China and Russia out of the area. This is what I'm hearing. It's what they're saying on TV and radio. So it's a new foreign policy. It's a brilliant foreign policy. It's also a globalist foreign policy. A globalist foreign policy isn't a foreign policy that you disagree with that involves other countries. A globalist foreign policy can be a foreign policy that you agree with that involves other countries. So our globalist reach in the Middle East is like never before. You can't praise it and distance yourself from it at the same time. So what you saw and what you see, the good, bad, and the ugly, whether you support it or don't, is globalism. Globalism. It's what you see. I mean, if you're really not a globalist, you wouldn't give a damn about what goes on in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Syria, or pretty much any other place, right? Right. And what's an interventionist? Well, interventionism and globalism aren't exactly alike, but they certainly overlap. What does it mean to be an interventionist? Does that mean just militarily? No, they don't say military interventionist, they say interventionist. So what's an interventionist? Well, for trying to bring together Ukraine and Russia, and I don't mean bring them together, in a kumbaya moment, I mean bring them together to end their war, that's an interventionist policy, which is a good policy to try and bring peace if you can, right? But that's interventionism. But we don't mean that. But that's interventionism. Negotiating with Iran. Negotiating with Iran is interventionism. Is interventionism. And what's a warmonger? We bombed Yemen. We bombed the hell out of Yemen. In fact, we celebrated it, and we're so happy about it because they said, look, we're not going to attack American ships anymore, but Israel's fair game. And we said, okay, Israel's fair game, but don't attack us. But we attacked them. We dropped an enormous tonnage of bombs on them. Bombs dropping everywhere. Is that a warmonger? I'm just curious. I want to get my terms straight. I don't understand them. I'm perplexed. Perplexed. Is that a warmonger? So if Israel's attacked on October 7th by Hamas, that's funded by Qatar, and attacked by Hezbollah, that's also funded by Iran, as Hamas is funded by Iran, and they react to defend the society, to defend their people. Are they warmongers? Are they? If somebody like me, and the vast majority of American people, 80% of them, so all these guys, the founders were wrong. That's like 10% of the American people. The vast majority of the American people think Israel should kick the crap out of these terrorists. Even with all the lies from the media about what Israel's doing to the children in Gaza, when it's Hamas doing it to the children in Gaza, the American people see through this. They don't side with terrorists against the democracy, and they never will. We never will. So is Netanyahu a warmonger? How so? He says, I got to defeat Hamas. We can't do this anymore. It's been going on for 20 years, no more. We've gone the way that the United States has insisted, the way the UN has insisted, the European Union has insisted. Get it over with already. Have a ceasefire. Don't you care about the hostages? Don't you think Israel and its elected government knows best what's for Israel? How many people say, we know what's best for America? Okay, it's true. And they know what's best for Israel. But I want to get my terms straight. Is bombing Yemen a warmonger act, and you're trying to destroy Hamas that literally slaughtered your people and promises to do it again? Is that the act of a warmonger? Now let's go to Iran. Iran clearly is building nuclear weapons. Under our system of government, Donald Trump will be president for less than another 4 years. Then he's out. We don't know who's going to replace him, which party. We have no idea. Then he's out. But the Iranians are still going to be there. They don't have elections. And they're still going to have the capacity to make nuclear weapons. And even if Trump negotiates the greatest deal of all deals, the most beautiful deal of all, he will be leaving. But Iran will not. And Israel will still be there. So I'm reading here in Axios, whoever keeps leaking to Axios in the administration, there needs to be a criminal investigation by the FBI, the National Security Council, overseen by the Department of Justice. Somebody is leaking negotiation information to a left-wing Barak Ravi who hates Netanyahu. He is a radical leftist. The Biden administration used him as a mouthpiece too. Somebody senior is undermining President Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and this entire arrangement. And they need to be found out, and they need to go to prison. But this whole thing is about telling Netanyahu what he can do, what he can't do, just like Biden. What he must do, what he must not do. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, whoa. Isn't that a globalist interventionist position? And let's stop fooling ourselves. Let's stop pretending. Let's stop. We're not going to bomb Iran. Not unless this deal completely craters. And it's clearly not, because the president has said they're close to a deal. And now the administration is threatening Netanyahu. They've sent Kristi Noem over there to threaten Netanyahu. So they're threatening Netanyahu. You better not screw this up, boy. You better not screw it up, boy. We're telling you. Pretty much what I'm reading here from these leaks. So there's tiny Israel that's actually defeated Hezbollah, is defeating Hamas, has effectively destroyed Iran's surface-to-air missile system so it can attack these nuclear sites, being told, no, you're not. Because Tucker and his friends say you shouldn't. And so you won't. So who's the interventionist here? Who's the globalist? Now let's talk about democracies. Qatar is an inbred monarchy. Brutal, brutal regime. Saudi Arabia, same thing. Both of them have attacked us and killed American citizens. Syria is now run by a former Al-Qaeda terrorist. He's the latest shiny object. And so we embrace him. All this being done without even consulting the state of Israel, our ally that lives in the...
Oh, poor little Wiggin mad, huh? Are Wiggins' skulls mad? I kicked his skulls all over the place. He went straight to JC's crying, and I blocked Billy. Wow, poor Will Wiggin. Did I undermine something you were doing, Wiggin? What did I undermine, Wiggin? I had the window down in the vehicle I was in riding around earlier. It's nice out. Poor little Wiggin went and cried to JC about Billy. Isn't that something? JC's gonna enjoy this, Wiggin, because I'm gonna fuck you right in the ass just as hard as I can. In fact, I'm gonna start right now. It's not on that phone, so it's on this one.
She's got a wart that's as big as a yacht. Lives in a dump with an elderly man. They've got it all except a dental plan. And I wish that they'd get off my dick, 'cause I ain't really into his chick. This weird obsession seems kinda sick. Let me tell you about a girl named Dot. She's got a wart that's as big as a yacht. Lives in a dump with an elderly man. They've got it all except a dental plan. And I wish that they'd get off my dick, 'cause I ain't really into his chick. This weird obsession seems kinda sick.
And she does sit in her car and fuck her up her lip, sit on.
That's as big as a yacht. Lives in a dump with an elderly man. They've got it all except a dental plan. And I wish that they'd get off my dick, 'cause I ain't really into his chick. This weird obsession seems kinda sick. Let me tell you about a girl named Dot. She's got a wart that's as big as a yacht. Lives in a dump with an elderly man. They've got it all except a dental plan. And I wish that they'd get off my dick, 'cause I ain't really into his chick. This weird obsession seems kinda sick. Let me tell you about a girl named Dot. She's got a wart that's as big as a yacht.
Look, no wart.
Lives in a dump with an elderly man.
Duh!
And I wish that they'd get off my dick, 'cause I ain't really into his chick. This weird obsession seems kinda
no, Wiggin,
Let me tell you about a girl named Dot. She's
Can you
got
hear
a
that?
wart that's as big as a yacht. Lives in a dump with an elderly man. They've got it all except a dental plan.
Fuck you, Wiggin. You chicken shit motherfucker. Come on up on my panel, you fucking punk. All them times you ran a stream to people, I went there. Come on, Wiggin, go live. I'll come over to your place. You want me to come up on your panel? I'll come up on your panel. You chicken shit motherfucker. You picked a fight with the wrong person, Wiggin. Fucking told you a long time ago, and you keep playing your silly ass game. Well, JC, it's over with. It was never about you. I didn't want to sit there beside you. You know, oh, fuck you, Wiggin.
May I add?
Right there.
If you want rock cats, they're there.
You know, Colin, you're just an absolute idiot. You really are.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. They're synchronized. It's unbelievable. But true conservatism, constitutionalism, conservative talk radio. We're not rock
Fuck
cats.
you.
We're not Mediaite that runs the Democrat left-wing line day in and day out. We're not the corrupt Drudge Report that does the same thing. We're not CNN and MSNBC and the slimes and the compost and the rest.
Okay? You think I haven't been trashed by
The
everybody?
truly good, that is great talk show hosts, whether they're on TV or radio, think for themselves and convey their thoughts to you so you can make up your own mind. It's not about team sports. It's not about burping up propaganda. It's about what I do on this program every damn day. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Ever wonder why your business doesn't show up on online search maps, but your competitors do? It's hundreds of things. Things that Cumulus Boost can identify and fix. And that's how we boost your findability. CumulusBoost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries, painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks.
Nobody understands anything you fucking say, Colin.
This is why Starlight.
That there, I read that, ready. So, you know, Colin, I'm just going to go ahead and fucking just ban you, fucking dumbass. You know, you're just so stupid, Colin.
Starlight.org to learn more.
Go have another drink, you stupid fucker.
Visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I am Tom Welling.
Welcome to Talkville,
where it's fun to talk about Smallville.
we're going to be talking to sometimes guest stars. Are you liking the direction Lois is going in?
Yeah, because I'm getting more screen time.
That's good. But mostly it's just me and Tom remembering.
I think we all feel like there was a scene missing here.
You got me, Tom.
Let's revisit it. Let's look at it. See what we remember.
See what we remember.
I had never been around anything like that before. I mean, it was so fun.
Talkville.
I just had a flashback.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Let's get into it.
Clarity and context for a complex world.
I'm going to be far more thorough and specific than ever before.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. Making sense of your world.
Talk radio is where I get all of my information.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of the forecast. Because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Wait until you hear next hour. The liberal media listens to everything I say because the substance isn't what they care about. It's always the superficial crap. Who's on what team? Who's attacking whom? So they view what I say as attacking it. It's not. This show is about a smart audience having questions where some are confounded, if not confused, about some of the things we're hearing and seeing, and so we discuss them. This is the greatest format of all, greater than television, greater than anything else. This right here, conservative talk radio. And that's why only a handful of people really succeed. Don't get me wrong, there's podcasts. There must be thousands of podcasts. There's scores of radio hosts, many of whom are quite good. But the ones who really succeed, they're not clapping seals. That's why Mediaite, in the end, is a little niche operation that Dan Abrams put out there because he's a grifter for radical Democrats. That's it. And their fellow news people who aren't news people at all. Pure Talk is my wireless company, a veteran-led company, believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country deserves to proudly fly an American flag that was made in America. And I love this. That's why two of my sponsors have gotten together, Pure Talk and Allegiance Flag. And Pure Talk's mission is to give an Allegiance flag, the highest quality American flag, period, to 1,000 U.S. veterans. Now, Flag Day's coming up.
Seriously, Charlie, why are you such a piss pot? What the fuck is your problem? Huh? Holy fuck, it's gay what you do. You and Andy. What's the matter? Why don't you fucking open your own chat? JC's live. Go to JC's. That's where all the action is if you want to do this shit. Charlie's not ever coming back to my chat. He's boycotting. Wiggin has blocked me. We'll see if he fucking records me again and fucking comments when he goes live. Because his girlfriend does it all the time. Oh, he farted when he got out of the chair. Oh. Well, look at Wiggin. The fucker ain't got no teeth. All right, his fucking face is all caved in from snorting cocaine all his life. That's why he acts the way he does. You're very immature of you, Patrick. That's all there is to it. Dougie says he's coming up next month, and we're going to stream. Getting to be a ritual. We'll see what he wants to talk about, what he doesn't want to talk about. I don't want to put him on the spot if he doesn't want to be put on the spot. So, fuck you, Patrick Rowe. Who the fuck are you? You sit in a fucking recliner and fucking make comments all day long, and you go to people and you're an idiot. Nobody even fucking talks to you. You're exactly what they accuse me of. I got people trolling me all the time. I don't see anybody fucking posting your name, cloning you and talking about you. They're always talking about me, just like what you're talking about. I live in your fucking tiny brain, Patrick Rowe. And I have no doubt that you have yellow toe fungus because you look yellow. You do. You look awful jaundice. You really do. At least they don't say that about me. I'm pink. You're supposed to be pink. All women are pink on the inside. Every woman, if you're able to look at their thing, you open that up, it's going to be pink. They all look the same. Some smell stronger than others. Yeah. So what's your problem, Patrick Rowe? Huh? Are you that desperate? I can't help you. I had to go get papers earlier. Did you want me to post the link for you? Did you want to come up, Patrick? Did you go bring Wiggin with you? Get Wiggin to come on up. All right, get out of JC's chat and come over here to the men's locker room. because that's what JC's chat is the girls' locker room. That's where the girls gather. And one thing's for sure, JC's never going to talk to Rusty. And if I'm forced to take sides, I'm going to have to take JC's side over Rusty. Sorry, Rusty. Seriously, Gotti. All right, the things that are going on over there, I went in there. Wiggin blocked me. Gotti, Dougie says he's coming for another visit. This is going to be enjoyable. I'll try not to be overbearing. Wiggin wants this. I've never done anything to Wiggin. Did today. He's pissed. He is really pissed. All right, give me a second. Wow, what a nice day today. If I take this fucker and put it just like that right there, right? Not too much glare. Where the fuck is my arrow?
If you're having a stream, I don't know why you're not ready for people to. Hello, Billy.
Yeah, I want to look at your mic settings. Holy fuck, you turned way up. What the fuck?
My volume should be all the way up. Yes.
All right, it's there. I can hear you good right there.
I need 80%. I need 80% at least.
You know, you don't.
Billy, if you didn't know this, I'm a little deaf. That's why I talk so loud.
And what about me? They say ice cream and shit. They complain about me.
Maybe you are too. Maybe all that.
Yeah, you're tweeting and your connection. Yeah, your connection's not good. Goes a guy by on a lawnmower with no blade on it. Yeah, you must be in a bad area. You're not coming in very good.
Hello?
Hello? There, I can hear you now.
Hello? God damn it. God damn it.
Hey,
Hello?
did you see my clone name for Patrick Rowe? Yellow toe fungus. Oh, he went out again. Are you trying to come up here twice or what?
I'm back.
All right.
Is this better?
Is the connection better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Did you see my new clone of Patrick Rowe?
No, I didn't.
Yellow toe fungus.
Oh, that's pretty much who he is.
It's a commercial that plays all the time on my Levin show, Yellow Toe Fungus. This girl comes on and talks about her husband's yellow toe fungus.
Can I address something real quick? I only got 4 minutes, Billy. I'm sorry.
That's why I'm here. You're an American, right?
So, real quick, this whole thing about Wiggin, I think he already told you what's going on. I don't think you realize that he's going to JC's to snuggle up to old Granny. He wants to snuggle up to her for a big reason, all right? He's at war with JT and the gang. So he needs JC to fucking bolster his fucking army, right? He has nobody. He just has Dot and the Wart, and that's it. That's only a team of
he
three.
says he's sick. I undermined him. Now, I don't know what his mission is. How the hell can I undermine the guy?
You are undermining him by being there. You are disruptive in his mind to what fucking outlandish, dumb old plan that he has in his warped brain.
His girlfriend can't stop talking about me.
Because he told her to. The girlfriend is now the wife.
I know.
She's
That's
under
why
direct
I keep saying,
orders.
Hey, she's getting paid, right?
She's under direct, her and her family. She's under direct orders to do whatever he says now. It's 100% his way or the fucking highway. That's it.
And he gets mad when I do that in my chat. It's my way here, and he gets mad that I won't let him have his way.
because he has no
He wants to
control
be able
over
to come
you,
up
Billy.
on my panel and insult me. He did last time.
He has
And
no
it's
control over you. Zero control unless you're sucking his dick.
Did you see
Which,
what I did to
you
him
know,
in Vegas a little while ago? And he blocked
no,
me.
no, what you do?
You're not, because the only ones I block are logical spam bots. Okay. Now I see you post the logical. You gonna say something to logical about that or what? Why is logical using my mother?
Logical is a good friend of mine. Me and Logical get along. You're a good friend of mine too.
Well,
I look at all you guys are good friends. I don't know why you guys can't get along. Now that
it's
not
not me. Wait, no, wait.
Because
Logical
I seem to get along with everybody, Billy. I don't know how it's so fucking hard for everybody.
There's the problem, Gotti, and I hope you listen to my words, what I'm saying. All right, because he don't post until I start posting in Vegas, and he's using my mother, and he has like 10 bots with derogatory names with my mother's picture doing his bullshit constantly.
What if you apologize to him? What do you think?
What do I have to apologize to him for? Why can't he just move on? Use his own mother's. Use his. Come in as you, Logical. That's what they tell me, right? You were there the first year at JC's chat. How many times? Oh, just be you, Billy. Billy, just be you. You know, all this cloning started, JC and CNN. I'm like, go ahead, clone me.
I don't care. I don't care if people clone me. I really don't care if people clone me.
No, it's the game that they're playing.
I
mean, look at Randy. Okay, he needs JC's support too. He makes his little videos. I'm not making. I don't do any of the shit that they do. I try because I want to be different. And then they complain. Wiggin has the nerve to complain that I'm playing a radio program.
Everybody's being manipulated, Billy, around. Everybody is being manipulated.
I have some supporters. You didn't watch my stream yesterday. Gotti, listen to me. All right.
I got 2 minutes.
Doug came up here yesterday.
He's coming to see you again. Yeah, I heard. If you don't punch him in the face, Billy, you're not worth a salt. You're not worth the salt of a fucking U.S. veteran that you claim to be. You'd have to punch this fucking guy right in the face as soon as he says, "Hi, Billy." As soon as he comes in the room, boom, and say, "Get the fuck out, you commie son of a bitch."
I'm not gonna
get the fuck out of here, you hippie bitch.
Now he can stop in Albany and pick up DA and bring DA.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I hope you're not going to cook for him like you did last time. The fucking crabs and escargot and all this shit you did last time. Let him bring a box lunch.
Escargot.
What's he going to do this time?
Fried snails.
Is he going to give you a massage? Is he going to massage you?
We're going to talk about chat politics. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to put him on the spot.
He has to drive 800 miles to talk about chat politics.
Good.
God damn it, man.
I mean, if he tries to touch my nuts, I might punch him in the face.
Of course he's going to try. Of course he's going to try.
He was very gracious the last time he was up here. Yeah, and it's
That's
been.
because
I'm no longer a rookie at this. I'm royalty.
Oh, you're king shit now? Is that what it is?
I'm royalty, American royalty, American exceptionalism.
There's too much manipulation going on, Billy. There's way too much manipulating going on around here.
Well, listen, it's pretty obvious that Wiggin. That pile of skulls that Wiggin has.
Yeah, that fake pile of skulls. Yeah.
Here comes Billy Hayden. I kicked them motherfuckers, scattered them. I could still hear them fuckers twanging down the street. Twang, 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 twang.
Do you understand that Wiggin has nobody now? He has to run to the Monica crowd and fucking hide under skirts.
Monica blocks me. They block and they talk shit.
Yes, this is the new tool. Block. Wiggins doing what they're telling him to do. Come on, it's plain as
I get up out of this chair. I was watching Wiggin. Fuck you. Wiggin, come on up. Bring Logical with you.
It's plain as the giant nose on Tiffany's face. It's plain as that giant beak. Wiggin, you are a sucker bitch. They're all fucking laughing at you, old man. Hey, Billy, thanks for letting me up. I'll talk to you later, pal.
All right, I'll see you later. Come back when you can stay longer. All right, back to Mark Levin.
His re-election was so big, in my view, he helped Rubio get big numbers. He's helped everybody.
Yes, I better plug this fucker in.
This Mark's opinion. And so, of course, they want to hurt him and harm him. He doesn't have a future. No, he's got a future, big future. By the way, I want to make it clear Next subject, not tied to him. I want to make it clear. People are already saying, who's set for 2028, the Republicans? And they give out names. Let me make it abundantly clear from my perspective. I will not support, certainly not the Republican Prime, any isolationists. I don't want us being dragged into a war by the isolationists like in the 1930s, with the rise of communist China, with the rise of fascistic Putin, with the rise of the Islamo-Nazi terrorist regimes, and somebody's out there trashing the founders or talking about isolationism. Excuse me. We have a big audience here. Smart people. Most of you don't like putting on boots and clicking your heels and marching. You think for yourselves. And we will spend time going over it. There's going to be a huge number of people who are going to run in the next presidential Republican primary for presidential. And we will be involved in that as we always are. And just as I did in the first hour, we're going to have a talk about their domestic views, their foreign policy views, their experience. We're going to go through all this stuff. All of it. And we will get involved because I am an activist. That's what I am. I'm on a mission to help protect you, my fellow countrymen, and to use this platform for that purpose. I'm not here today, gone tomorrow, like some of our friends. That's not going to happen. Well, I'll be gone one day, don't get me wrong. But we've been here a long time. You know, there's not a lot of people who survive talk radio at a national level, a syndicated show as long as this show. Got Rush, who did, who we miss horrendously. I certainly do, is one of my dearest best friends. You have Hannity, great man, wonderful best friend, and a few others. That's it. You can't have a syndicated national radio show as big as this one, heard in every corner of America on multiple platforms. If people aren't interested in what you have to say. And so, you know, people say to me, and I want you to know this, they say, I have talk show guys ask me, how do you do this? First of all, I said, be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. And then I said, think for yourself. Don't be afraid. You're going to be a radio host or a TV host. Have the courage of your convictions. Don't sell out your principles. And then the third thing I say, which is related to the second, show your audience respect. And by that, what do I mean? Respect their intelligence. They know when somebody's bullcrapping them. They know when everybody's marching in that direction. Maybe somebody ought to be walking in the other direction. They want to hear your views. They want to know what you think. That's what they want to know. And if you explain yourself, even if they disagree, they're going to stick with it. They want to hear. They don't want to hear everything the same thing, boring, same, change the channel, different voice, but same damn thing over and over and over again. No, that can't be right. Can it? No, I don't think so. I want to point out something. What President Trump is doing to Harvard is patriotic, and it's long overdue. When I wrote my book, American Marxism, one of the things I said that had to be done with these schools of higher education, which are really lower education, is it's time to use the power of the purse. They are subsidized by federal taxpayers. They're subsidized by state taxpayers. It's also time to convince major donors to take another look at what they're supporting. Harvard supports Marxism and Islamism. I don't care what it did 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's irrelevant to me. Harvard blatantly discriminated against Asian students who qualified for admission, but they didn't want Asian faces, enough of them, on their campus. That seems to me to be problematic. The Supreme Court found it to be problematic. In the 1930s, Harvard gave cover to the Nazis. Professor Stephen Norwood, professor of history and Judaic studies, University of Oklahoma, he's written about this, wrote an entire book. When I began researching how the American academic community responded to the Nazi persecution of Jews in the 30s, I expected to find some troubling episodes. But what I discovered is far more disturbing than I ever anticipated. This is what he wrote, thewymaninstitute.org. The Harvard University administration during the 30s, led by President James Conant, ignored numerous opportunities to take a principled stand against the Hitler regime and the anti-Semitic outrages it perpetrated, and contributed to Nazi Germany's efforts to improve its image in the West. The administration's lack of concern about Nazi anti-Semitism was shared by many influential Harvard alumni and students. A faculty panel that supervised a mock trial of Hitler in 1934 ruled Hitler's anti-Jewish actions were irrelevant to the debate. Nazi leaders were warmly welcomed to the Harvard campus, invited to prestigious social events, as the Harvard administration strove to build friendly relations with thoroughly Nazified universities in Germany. Oh, by the way, you anti-Semites and Jew haters that go on my site, I seem to recall World War II involved more than Jews. The Holocaust, of course, but an awful lot of red-blooded Americans, Jewish and non-Jewish, fought that war and lost their lives. So I don't want to hear any more about how Jews are dragging us into war. No, evil enemies drag us into war. Islamists, communists, fascists. And by doing so, Harvard's administration and many of its student leaders offered important encouragement to the Hitler regime as it intensified its persecution of the Jews and strengthened its armed forces. President Conant's insistence on treating Nazi academics as part of the learned world, quote unquote, and his reluctance to offer faculty position to prominent Jewish refugee scholars was shaped in part by his own anti-Semitic prejudices. He goes on, chapter and verse, on and on and on. Harvard.
Wow.
Harvard. And the only president to stand up to Harvard is Donald Trump. And he says, enough. No federal tax money, no federal grants. And then people say, what about all the fantastic research they do? They have $53 billion tax-free. Why don't they consider using more of that? Because they don't use $53 billion on medical research. And some of you who graduated from Harvard, you didn't even know what you graduated from, did you? Well, when I was there, it was very great. Maybe it was. But that's Harvard in the 1930s, and this is Harvard today. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. Making sense of the headlines. Making sense of your world. WMAL's Vince Colonnese.
Thank you for all you do on the radio show.
What a nice call. Thank you very much.
Weekdays, noon to 3. News Talk 105.9. WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
Let's see, something different for dinner.
Searching restaurants near me.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Gee, same old, same old.
Wait, we're right here. Ma'am, our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local restaurants. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
As a young adult at this point in your life, you probably have a lot of questions. Like, what's next? What does my future hold? The thing is, there's no right answer, only your answer. Your friendships, experiences, and purpose. It's all your choice. So what will you choose? As you make choices about the future, the military can be a resource for information to help bring a fulfilling path into focus. A public service message from the Department of Defense. To learn more, visit todaysmilitary.com.
Our country's policies towards the Middle East have never been more important, and the time period never more filled with potential, but also fraught with peril. As maps are modified and lines are being redrawn, the nation of Israel stands naturally at the center of this ever-changing landscape. Many believe that Israel's enemies are America's enemies, and they're right. Christians United for Israel, one of America's largest pro-Israel organizations with 11 million active members, is leading the charge to help keep Americans on Israel's side. Next month, join thousands of pro-Israel Americans like me and my family at the 20th Annual Christians United for Israel Washington Summit, June 29th through July 1st. While you're there, learn from leading Mideast experts and make your voice heard. Register for the 20th Annual CUFI, Christians United for Israel Washington Summit today at CUFI.org. That's CUFI.org. Make sure you use promo code LEVIN25, LEVIN25. Be part of the grassroots movement that is at the forefront of history.
Making sense of your world.
Thanks for taking my call.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news.
Tomorrow on the Chris White Show, Republicans are lions and tigers in charts. Democrats are slugs. 9 a.m. on WMAL.
Welcome back, America. We're here with America's Governor Ron DeSantis, my governor, in the great state of Florida. And I have to say, Governor, the people in Florida are very, very happy with you. They just are. I mean, I don't care what the media try or the rhinos try or this one tries or that tries. And people are still flowing into this state, investing in this state, buying homes in this state. They're thrilled to be here. You should be very, very proud of yourself. I don't say that to most politicians, but I know you're taking a lot of hits from the, the peanut stands and so forth, but you should be very proud of what you accomplished here. So having said all that, you're a big supporter of Convention of States. As you know, I've written about it. I'm a big supporter. And the organization, Mark Meckler and Patty, great organization with millions and millions of active members. You support that movement, don't you? And why do you support it?
Well, Mark, I think you pointed out what we've done in Florida, and that was 100% in spite of legacy media constantly smearing us, especially during COVID, as they were saying we were the worst. Everyone was coming to Florida. So people get it, and they see that states like Florida can deliver results. The same has not been the case with the Congress in Washington, D.C. We've just had letdown after letdown for many, many years, and I'm convinced that we're not going to save the country unless we get structural changes in the Constitution to rein in the entrenched politicians in D.C. So there are two ways to amend the Constitution. The first way is the way it's been done traditionally. 2/3 of both houses of the federal Congress send an amendment to the states, or you can do through the states, which is the Article 5 convention, where 2/3 of the states trigger a meeting where you can draft amendment or amendments and then send to the states for ratification. In each case, though, Mark, because there's a lot of fear-mongering about Article 5, in each case, the ratification is the same. 3/4 of the state legislatures must do it. And so sometimes people say, oh, yeah, I'd love to have a balanced budget requirement. I'd love to have term limits for Congress. But if we did in Article 5, then it would be a, quote, runaway convention, and they could take away the Second Amendment. Just understand, what you're saying is that you would think 3/4 of the states would actually ratify something like that. That would not happen. I think we all know that. The founders set a very high bar for ratification, but I think on these bread and butter things, like term limits, like balanced budget, I think you'd get a lot of support across the country. And the founders set it up this way for a reason, because they knew sometimes the capital, the federal capital, would be the problem with Congress and the power that would be accumulating. And obviously President Trump's done a lot of yeoman's work to try to break up the big administrative state, but this happened over many, many decades, and I'm just not convinced that the current situation with the current Congress and the incentives that are there, we're ultimately going to be able to get the job done without constitutional reform. So you've been a big outspoken proponent. In Florida, we've certified everything possible that people talk about across all these different issues, and I know other states are doing it, and it is gaining momentum, because I think people understand. I mean, ultimately, we're not powerless in this. We can act through the states. The states created the federal government, not the other way around. There is no reason why states can't lead on amending the Constitution as the founders provided for.
So well said, Governor. The biggest obstacle in many respects is psychological. People don't understand that this country was founded by states, and they created the federal government. And so the propaganda, the indoctrination, the education over these decades is the all-powerful federal government, when it was supposed to be the other way around. And the states have this power, don't they? Because George Mason said, what happens if Congress is corrupt? Your point. So what happens? Congress isn't going to fix itself. There has to be another way. So 3 days before the end of the Constitutional Convention, they added this language. And Convention of States, I wrote a book on it. We're pushing it. We're getting truly great statesmen like you and others to get behind this movement and so forth. And even when Donald Trump leaves, and even if look what's happening in your state. Look at how all these Lilliputians come forward, and all of a sudden they want to change everything and so forth. The key thing you said is structural change the constitutional way, not through judges and all the rest of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very practical on this. Having been governor, I did serve a few terms in the U.S. Congress. I fully recovered from that experience, but I did do it, and I learned a lot there. But basically, most of the people that get elected for office are not what you and I would consider to be true believers. They're kind of politicians. They got into it for whatever reason, and so they're going to respond to the incentives that are in front of them. And right now, the incentives in Congress are to get reelected as many times as possible. And ultimately, in order to do that, you don't want to make tough decisions that may create opposition to you. So, of course, you're going to prefer to put spending on the credit card rather than reduce spending, because when you reduce spending, there's some people that get upset about that. So those are just the incentives. And yes, maybe you elect a bunch of statesmen in one election, but the reality is over the medium and long term, even if somehow you did that, it would revert back to what we've seen. If you have term limits, people know, hey, I'm only going to be here 3 terms, 4 terms, whatever it is, maybe 2 terms in the Senate, and then a balanced budget requirement. I got to make tough choices here. We can't keep bankrupting the country. It just changes the way people would approach it. I think it would change some of the people that may not be willing to run for office. I think you get some quality people that would want to go in under different circumstances. And so I'm just a big believer that most of these folks are going to do what's in their immediate self-interest. Just as James Madison said, enlightened statesmen are not always going to be at the helm, so you got to provide the incentives there to get better outcomes.
Mm-hmm. When I come back, Governor, I want to talk to you about Iran. I want to talk to you about Israel, that whole part of the world, Iran trying to get nukes. Your thoughts about this? I know you think about these things a lot. You think about, obviously, foreign policy is very, very important. You have a large Jewish community in your state. Not that will decide one way or the other for you, but obviously that has an effect. So I'd be curious to know what you think. We're talking to America's Governor, Ron DeSantis. We'll be right back.
You heard the news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange and listed on the big board. Millions of Americans like you are joining our news revolution. Reuters Institute says Newsmax is one of the top 12 news brands in America. Even President Trump says it's terrific. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax, and its audience grew 50% since the same time last year. Millions really are making the switch to Newsmax. If you want to be a Newsmax share owner, call your advisor or get more info at newsmaxinvest.com. Stand with Newsmax today for a strong America. This communication is for informational purposes only and shall not be intended to or shall not constitute any offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such offer, solicitation, or sale would be unlawful.
On the Beltway, Virginia side, no problems on the inner loop or on the outer loop. In Montgomery County and in Prince George's County, inner loop and outer loop are at speed. Staying in Prince George's County on the BW Parkway, northbound in Cheverly, slow from 202 to 197. Southbound side of the BW Parkway is stop and go from 198 to 197. In Montgomery County on 270 northbound, slow between Falls Road and West Montgomery Avenue. Also northbound 270 in Gaithersburg is jammed up between 370 and Middlebrook Road. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, scattered showers, lows around 56. Tomorrow, widespread rain, highs in the mid-60s.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Illuminating the issues.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
Every day.
Why are we the only ones reporting this?
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Searching HVAC near here.
Right here, ma'am. How can we help?
Wow, nobody local? Huh.
Wait, what? We are an HVAC company literally in your neighborhood. Why is she not seeing us?
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the... Can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried deep in the list of local HVAC providers. You are invisible online. Introducing Cumulus Boost. Get a boost, get found, get on the map. Learn more at cumulusboost.com.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Hey, I'm Reba McIntyre. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Imagine the hospital experience. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine you're a child. This is why Starlight exists. Starlight programs help kids in the hospital cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
SweetDeals.com lets you spend less and have more. Save at least 50% on extraordinary restaurant, product, and entertainment deals. Plus, amazing vacation packages. Live large and save money while doing it. Go to SweetDeals.com today and start saving.
making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
But then, the thunder on the right. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
We hear Governor DeSantis. So Governor DeSantis, Iran, you see what they're doing, you see the negotiation. What is your take on this? What's your attitude towards this?
Well, I was in Congress. I was the chairman of the National Security Subcommittee back when Obama was trying to do the Iran deal, and I think we were all unified in condemning that deal because he was basically paving the way for Iran to require a nuclear weapon. And I thought back to my time serving in Iraq. I think I'm one of the only few governors who actually served in uniform. But when I was over there during kind of the troop surge in 2007, most of the casualties that U.S. forces were suffering were at the hands of these Iranian-backed militias, and they were responsible for killing hundreds of Americans, probably over 1,000 American troops in Iraq. Of course, they were responsible for the Beirut bombing that killed over 240 service members at the Marine Corps barracks, and they have been very consistent in their view that the United States is the great Satan. So Iran is really the number one problem with the Middle East, and I think President Trump's first term, he did a brilliant job of letting it be known in the Middle East he was going to be supportive of Israel, he was going to turn the screws on Iran, and even when he did things that the Arab countries didn't like correctly recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, they saw that as a president acting with strength, and they gravitated to the West, and they basically created the Abraham Accords and a coalition to keep Iran in a box. And I think that is really the same approach will work now. Trying to cut a deal with Iran, I think, is hazardous. I don't see them as being good faith actors in any way, shape, or form. And the reality is they cannot be allowed to enrich uranium, period. End of story. They are a militant Islamic government. Their view of mutual destruction with nuclear weapons is actually something they think would be fine because they think they're all going to go to heaven and paradise if that happens. And so the Middle East right now, you have a strong ally in Israel, both with the government and with the populace. Most of the other places in the Arab world, I think, are maybe moderately leaning west. A lot of them are because they recognize President Trump's strength. But underneath all that, most of the population in those countries, they want Sharia law. So if you look at the whole region, Israel is the only country that we have shared values with, and you could trace back the history of Western civilization all the way back to the ancient state of Israel and the birth of both Judaism and Christianity. And we wouldn't have the United States of America if it didn't trace back to that. So the security arrangements are positive. We have great economic ties with Israel. They're a very good diplomatic ally, but on a more foundational level, they are the only place in that region that we have common cause with.
That's very profoundly stated. My buddy Joel Pollack over at Breitbart, he wrote this today. The idea that Iran should never have nuclear weapons is a repeat of the Obama-Biden policy, famously exposed in the Biden-Ryan vice presidential debates in 2012. The Republican position, which sounds like your position, which remains sensible, was that Iran should not have any nuclear enrichment at all, period. Because the only reason they want to do that, Governor, is so they have the capacity to make a bomb. They don't need nuclear enrichment for domestic energy, correct?
That's right. And they are not a traditional country like when we had the Soviet Union. You could deter the Soviet Union because the Soviet Union knew if they used a nuclear weapon, we would respond, and then it'd be mutually assured destruction. That was not very appealing to a country that was based on atheism. Well, when you talk about the Iranian mullahs, they think that nuking Israel, even if they had to take nukes in response, they think they're doing the will of Allah, and that is a much different calculation. It's not clear they would be able to be deterred, and I think they probably wouldn't be able to be in the conventional way, in the traditional way. So you cannot have a militant Islamic state with a nuclear weapon, especially one that views the United States of America as the great Satan.
Now, you're a lawyer. You were a good lawyer, congressman, governor. Let me ask you this. When you have a party that'll sign basically any agreement and has violated every agreement that it has signed, no matter who the other party is, it could be Europe, it could be the United States, it could be the UN and so forth. Why would we believe that anything they signed today would last beyond President Trump? I'm thinking of North Korea. North Korea signed deals. Un's father signed them too for almost 20 years. And we even removed our nuclear weapons from South Korea as an example of our willingness to work with them. And then all of a sudden it's, look what we have. They have nuclear weapons. I mean, I think Iran is doing the same rope-a-dope as North Korea did.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think, if you think back to Trump's first term, he came in, he ripped up the Iran deal that Obama did, which we all said was a disaster, and he turned the screws on them economically. I mean, he imposed some really significant sanctions, and I'm not a guy that thinks sanctions tend to work very well, but in this case, he really did choke their economy in an effective way. That's what happens when you have a party like that would never abide by an agreement. You just, every time they move, you go a little stronger, you go a little stronger, you turn it more and more and more. They're only going to respect strength. They will absolutely not be a good faith negotiating partner. And I think their view is, because Qatar is now trying for good relations with the United States, which is an ally of theirs, I think that they can spin this diplomatically in a way where they're going to be able to pull the rug out from under the United States and the West if we went down this road. So I don't think you can do a deal with them that would be enforceable.
Let me ask you this question. Let me put it to you this way. We've seemed to have gotten away from, you're a constitutionalist and I am, the treaty clause of the Constitution. We have administrations of both parties that just blow it off. The Republican Congress, when Obama was there, they basically let him blow it off. But they still had these executive agreements where they still required both houses, oddly enough, to have some statutory authority and so forth and so on. And I've been saying, number one, it is a treaty. If this isn't a treaty, then what the hell is? If they have some, and number two, at a minimum, even an executive agreement, you have to have the involvement of Congress. The framers didn't want one person, putting Donald Trump aside. Could be Joe Biden, could be Obama, whomever. The argument that was made by Republicans was, and including Rubio, this is a treaty. And now, if we have to go with an executive agreement, then we need a statutory framework with this. The bottom line is this: shouldn't the Senate or at least Congress be involved in this process too? Because it is life and death.
I think it should be submitted. Anything should be submitted as a treaty and requires 2/3 votes. So some of the things I've been the most opposed to, like the Paris Climate Accords, my view was submit it to the Senate. Let's put them on record, because we knew they wouldn't get 2/3 vote. This WTO lockdown treaty, I'm very much opposed to that. We banned that in Florida, but send it to the Senate. Make them go on record. They would probably vote it down 2-1. So in this Iran thing, I am skeptical, though, even about doing both houses in some type of executive.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
You remember during Obama, they did this Corker thing where you voted no, and then it triggered this. It was strange what they did. It was a really weird thing, and they did that to get around the treaty clause. So I don't think that works either. If you do a deal with Iran, I think it's incumbent that the president submit that to the Senate or any of these agreements as a treaty. When it involves diplomatic and military issues, the founders, I think, would have been unanimous that it should be considered as a treaty.
And not only are you right, and this is my position as well, it was the Republican position under Obama, even though they eventually sold out. And you make a very important point. It's a 2/3 vote of the senators present. So they made any treaty very difficult. They wanted the full body politic to get behind this. And why? They told us why. They were concerned agreements might wind up in us conferring our sovereignty, the consent of the government overseas. They were afraid of corruption. They told us they were afraid of all these things. And so they actually, in the Constitution, as you know, Governor, I'm just explaining to the public, they changed in this respect separation of powers. They said, yeah, the president negotiates, but the Senate has to approve it or turn it down.
And just think of what we just went through for 4 years. It's even, you have a staffers negotiating some agreement with the foreign power, then auto-petting Biden's name, and then that's going to bind the country without the Senate. There were a lot of circumstances that they understood you needed that to confer legitimacy on these agreements. And, Biden's condition is probably an extreme case throughout American history, maybe Woodrow Wilson towards the end of his term. But still, having somebody like an Obama who was very reckless in foreign affairs, you needed to have that submitted to the Senate. It's also just healthy to be reviewing these agreements, having sunlight on them, let the public know what is the United States committing towards here. So I think it needs to be a treaty, and I think if it's not, then I don't think that it would ultimately carry the day with the legal force necessary.
I also think, Governor, that the administration should be involving the Senate right now, because if it's something that is of immediate concern and import, you don't wait after 5 weeks of negotiation to say, this is what we have. In other words...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the same thing. I mean, just like when you're trying to do regular legislation as well. I mean, you can propose things, but you get the ducks lined up, and people can raise red flags about things. And when you're talking about a 2/3, anything President Trump submits, most likely every Democrat would be inclined to vote no matter what, just because they want to just spite him. So you don't even really have a path to 2/3, perhaps, on any treaty with any country, not even talking about this situation. But to the extent some Democrats would be, you got to look at, can you get all the Republicans? And we've got a wide variety of views over there. So I think it's constitutionally the right way to go and the appropriate way, but I think also just practically it makes sense to do it.
By the way, I saw Mike Lee agrees with us, and there's going to be other senators who agree with us too. I don't know who they are. I assume Cruz will want to jump in, maybe Rand Paul, some of the others. But the language in the treaty clause is some of the broadest language in the Constitution, period. Period. It's not complicated, but they've made it complicated over the last 80 years or so because of what you said. Presidents trying to defy it of both parties. Just, it's an executive arrangement, which is exactly the opposite of what the framers wanted. In any event, Governor, are the Lilliputians still giving you trouble in Florida? Maybe I should focus more on that.
Well, we'll let you know. So they ended the regular session with no budget, largely because of the leadership in the Florida House. And so we are now about a month away from the end of our fiscal year. And I've never seen them not be able to do a budget before in my time, and usually we get it done right on time. So that was probably to be expected when you see how they're doing. It's interesting, Mark, because I know you got to run, but they just did a map of all the law enforcement agencies across the country who have 287G deportation agreements with ICE. And it's like the whole United States is practically bare. The state of Florida just covered in dots because I fought them and won on the illegal immigration so that we would make local law enforcement work with ICE. And now we're leading the way by a country mile over that. But that was back in January. I was on your radio program. You saw what they were trying to do in the House by trying to do this amnesty bill. And we won because there was a lot of outrage. But we have the biggest Republican majorities we've ever had in the Florida House. I obviously won the biggest victory any Republicans ever won in a governor's race. We've been the model for success across the country on conservative policy by far. And yet you got some of these guys that just want to sabotage it. I think what happens is when a state goes one party like we have in Florida from a Democrat advantage when I got elected to 1.3 million Republican advantage, I think you have people that get involved in Republican who really smuggle their leftism through the Republican Party because they know that they can't get elected as a Democrat given how red the state's gotten. And that's going to be a constant battle that we're going to be fighting in the years ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're welcome here anytime. I think what you've done in this state is unbelievable. And other governors, I think, would learn well from it. So God bless you, my friend. Always enjoyed talking to you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Be well. My best to Casey. My wife would be very angry if I didn't say that, Yeah, she's fantastic. All right, Mr. Producer, where am I? Oh, my friends, look, you've worked hard your whole life. You're the people who make this country work, not the takers, not the illegal aliens, you. You've paid your taxes, you raised your families, you play by the rules. And then you look around and say, what the hell is happening to my country? People burning the flag. You've got people on the take, people stealing Medicaid funds, so forth and so on. Well, here's the good news. You're not alone. Millions of patriotic Americans, 50 and older, and by the way, all Americans feel the same way, and they're taking a stand. Taking a stand to bring fairness back, to root out waste and fraud. Yes, to proudly stand for our Judeo-Christian values. Now, it can't be done alone. I mean, it can be, but in order to have an effect, we have to unite. That's where the Association of Mature American Citizens comes in. AMAC is the senior organization that actually aligns with your values: faith, freedom, family, and common sense. And by the way, even though it's a senior organization, anybody, any age can join. And there's a good reason for it. Just $16 a year, you'll get their fantastic magazine, and it is. You'll be part of this nationwide movement. And, ready? You're going to get these fantastic and things you actually use and need.
Yeah, excuse me.
$16 a year, you use those benefits once, you're going to benefit many more times than $16. I'm telling you now.
Here's an old joke. If you're a woman, you'd say one thing. If you're a man, you say another. So when you burp, after you burp, like I just burped, I would say, do you smell pussy? A woman would say, you smell cock.
We'll be right back.
All right, I will be opening the panel. I'm going to roll a joint. And when I'm done with this joint, I'm going to go make dinner. But I'm going to shut my chat down. Come back later. Unless my panel gets busy. Or my side chat. Actually, the side chat's really more important than the panel is. I mean, they're both important. Yeah, I didn't expect Doug to come up here yesterday. I didn't expect Siberian Gal Pal in my chat the day before that. So for you guys to come in here and say, oh, there's only 2 people here, there's only 3 people here, it can change just like that, all right? It doesn't matter how many is watching, it matters who is watching. Like Guitar J. All right, JC was surprised. You know, he's watching my stream, and I had that plate of bacon sitting here. Twice I've done that in just the last couple of days. I've been eating BLTs forever.
With the new WMAL app. Thank you. Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected. Clarity in context for a complex world.
So yeah, pretty much JC's chat is the women's locker room. This is the men's locker room.
Making sense of the news. Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, will you?
Wiggin is always disrupting my relationship with JC, whatever it is. Then they do things because I'll make Billy mad. I'll get him going. Now, you're amongst friends. You do things, just, a little rib, you know what I mean? A little joke, something's funny. But Wiggin, most annoying thing you do, you get up there and you're imitating somebody and you're making like the other person's crying when you, in fact, are the one crying. Then I made you block me today. That's big news, Matt Galligan. So I went to JC's chat. She responded. Thanks, JC. I appreciate it. I haven't done anything to Wiggin. I don't know what his fucking problem is, but needs to fucking straighten it out. And it goes for you too, logical fallacy. I don't owe you shit. In fact, you owe me a pound of pot, you motherfucker, squelching motherfucker.
Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
We're living in dangerous times.
I test declared he's my enemy.
System is failing many of us. The radicals on the left.
So I guess I got underneath High Test's fucking skin a little bit, didn't I? There, fucking Indian boy, you Hindu stupid fuck.
is one of the smallest non-lethal pistols in the world. About the size of your smartphone. But don't let the size fool you. It fires 61 caliber kinetic chemical rounds were available at up to 400 feet per second. With 41 joules of stopping power per square inch. You know what that means?
Why do Hindus abuse elephants?
Without deadly force. It's legal in 50 states.
You ever seen some of the things? Imagine having an elephant get mad at you. That freaking first hit, you're dead.
Without the many complexities of a homicide. Made in America with over 80% of its components U.S. sourced and hand assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to Byrna.com. That's BYRNA.com. Must be 18. Visit Byrna.com for details.
Hi, Tess. You still want my blonde sister? All my sisters are redheads. Now, I am basically a redhead. I'm a towhead. Strawberry blonde. I'm a ginger. You can see it in my beard. That's ginger color.
Well, we all know credit card debt. Crushing American families, crushing many of you, I'm sure. You probably hate going to the mailbox every month getting these bills. You can't pay down the principal and the interest, just keep rolling over and rolling over. And it affects your credit. You know, it's a downward spiral.
Now, I have a good question.
Financing has been working on this for years. And we've been partnering on this because they can throw your life in. Right now, summertime expenses, we know, makes it even worse. You got vacation.
I got a feeling Yee skirt is Billboard. Where are you, Billboard? You're hiding underneath a wrench somewheres. Either your Yee skirt or something. Calling you out, Billboard. Where are you?
In fact, I would urge you to really focus in on what I'm going to say. There's a better way. It's not wishful thinking. It's a smart, strategic way to move your money around, to get your finances.
Shan Camp, I seen what was going on.
American financing was started by a family 25 years ago. They're highly rated. I've used them. Mr. Producer used them. My daughter and son-in-law have used them. They're fantastic. These are real people who look at your situation, show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that high interest debt. So basically, you're paying 20.
You know, Gotti, Will Durant has actually showed me some respect the last few days. Actually, all along, Will Durant doesn't want to get rid of me. I create a lot of chaos. I don't even try.
From salary-based mortgage consultants.
I could have a beer. I did yesterday.
If you start today, you might be able to
just one.
Mortgage payments. So don't delay anymore. Call them. They're there right now. 888-900-1828. 888-900-1828. Folks, jump in. I'm telling you.
There you go, Matt. Click on the link if you think you're brave. Come on up and show us your brother's toys.
Baby, this program is flying by. We've got a break.
Getting long.
Go to Amazon.com.
Long ways to go, though.
You can put that little note in their card and let them know it's coming. I'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer.
Gotti came up.
Are you ready to join the #1 breast
Even though he's out there laughing because what Logical's doing and all, right? Now you seen it. Okay. You go right ahead, Logical. You're still not as tough as I am. And I still say if you burnt your feet, you must have burnt your dick.
They didn't think I was going to make it.
Log liquor.
And I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both physical and invisible.
I don't know, Gotti. You might have pissed JC off. She's not falling for your charm again.
Drinking responsibly is knowing that if you are over yours, ask Artie or someone like Artie to get you home safely. To learn more about drinking responsibly, go to beforeyoudrink.org. Bro, I think I could take your number 26 Crown Royal Racing to a spin. Did you get out of there?
Be a champion. Drink responsibly. This message has been brought to you by the Century Council.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories. Stream your favorite WMAL.
I'm not going to knock Mary. She's getting attention. All right. She's got a little thing going there. She wanted to silence my voice, but that didn't work. That ain't going to happen. I don't try to silence people's voices. In fact, I want to hear what they have to say. See, this is Fox News Radio. I could listen to ESPN. I could listen to ABC, WABC out of New York City. I could listen to any number of radio programs. I could listen to Mike Savage. He's on the West Coast now, though. Used to be on in the morning where I live.
Joined by the FDA Commissioner and the Director of the National Institutes of Health. A CDC advisory panel is set to meet next month to make recommendations about fall vaccines. Last week, the FDA announced routine COVID vaccine approvals will be limited to seniors and those with underlying health risks.
Fox's Jared Halbert at the White House. The State Department has stopped the scheduling of new visa interviews for foreign students hoping to study in the U.S. while it prepares to expand the screening of their activity on social media. The State Department says the suspension is intended to be temporary and doesn't apply to people who already have interviews. This coming as the administration moves to cut all federal funding to Harvard.
The Trump administration urging all federal agencies to review contracts for termination or transition.
Oh, I thought I was feeling hungry.
Of the U.S. General Services Administration, who is also a leader on the administration's task force to address anti-Semitism. He argues the Ivy League institution continues to engage in race discrimination, noting Harvard's inaction in the face of repeated harassment of students.
Fox's Molly Lyon at Harvard. President Trump says the U.S. government
Molly Lyon.
Mortgage guarantees and oversight role for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac as it works to take the mortgage finance from public. The U.S. Treasury owns preferred shares in the firms and warrants to purchase about 80% of their common stock, a holdover from the 2008 financial crisis. America's listening to Fox News.
More murders in D.C. I'm Sharon Reardon from the Mid-Back Motors News.
I'm sitting here looking at JC's chat, and there's John Doe up there. Right? Calls himself Herc. He's not even playing that guitar. It just, Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm looking at every single case with my team. We broke it down from top to bottom, and what we're seeing is really just individual.
Wow.
Police Chief Benevolent Smith. It's easier to say when we know that there's an emerging problem or emerging issues.
If there's one positive note,
We have some very, very strong leads. In a lot of, if not the majority of our homicide cases that we're working right now, these are not random shootings.
John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A Hyattville man's indicted on multiple charges for allegedly threatening to kill two strangers on a metro bus in Northwest D.C. last July and stabbing one of them. Prosecutors say Nkintola Olowofoy Iku started screaming at the people and demanding they get off the bus. He then forced them to the back of the bus at knife point and allegedly stabbed one during the struggle. He'll go on trial next month. And employees at one large federal contractor are feeling the sting of DOGE cuts.
I am incredibly proud of the people of Blue Valley for their dedication and hard work over the past 3 years.
Booz Allen Hamilton announcing just before the holiday weekend it's laying off 2,500 people. That's 7% of its workforce as part of anticipated revenue declines due to federal cuts. CEO Horacio Rozanski is
This led to a significant number of employees needing to be employed simultaneously.
The employee cuts come even as the company posted growth of 12.4% in FY 2025. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the BW Parkway northbound in Chevrolet, traffic is slow from 202 to 197. Beltway in Montgomery County and in
These fuckers in here bragging about getting blocked, and they're the blockers.
now into Virginia on the Beltway. Inwood and Tyson's, it's jammed up between 123 and GW Parkway. 395 northbound in Arlington, accidents being reported with the left lane blocked after Glebe Road. And 95 southbound in Newington, well, that's jammed up between the Fairfax County Parkway and 123. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, scattered showers.
DA can't help but talk about me. I live in their fucking brains rent free. Starting to get long. Not quite long enough yet to do that.
They need something good to look forward to. For just $29 a month, your commitment to Make-A-Wish North Texas helps bring life-changing wish experiences to children when they need them most. Give hope today at wishesarewaiting.org.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toenails,
Still got some hair upstairs.
Secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com.
I have a lot of bird activity outside.
A small spot on his big toe and then it spread.
Glad they're not inside.
His toes were nasty. It was so
European starlings would do that. You got a shed or something like that on the back of the house, and fuckers would get in there. Make a nest or two.
In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
And then streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Well, that Robin is puffing his chest out awful.
Didn't think I was here, did you, Mr. Producer? Of course I'm here. Welcome, America. We be back in a killer 2 hours, don't you think? Feels like Monday. Feels like Monday to me. We love our Leo Terrell here. We absolutely do. You know, I've become very, very dear friends. I love the guy. I remember when he was a radical leftist and I was debating him. I think it was on MSNBC many, many years ago. And he walked off. He just yanked his microphone.
I know who Leo Terrell. I've seen him on TV a lot.
Now I think about it.
Back in the day.
Long time ago. I know he's a buddy too. I have great respect for both those men.
About it, Wiggin.
But here he is talking about these universities and anti-Semitism.
Wiggin.
He's on with Harris Faulkner.
I ever got a hold of you, Wiggin. I make you cry.
Trump is going nowhere. We're going to have to match them in court, Harris. This is going to be a
Fuck
battle
you,
in the
Wiggin.
courtroom. If it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, Trump is going to do that. That's why the Department of Justice, that's why the task force is here. 4 years ago, nothing happened. But we're going to have to file these lawsuits. We're going to have to take the money away. I want to destroy this myth by that president. Coming to school here on a student visa is a privilege. Yes. And he conflated the idea that somehow academic freedom, this is not academic freedom, this is anti-Semitism in its purest, most hatred form, and it's being tolerated not only on universities, but throughout the country.
Just to show you how, what a unique country we're in. I just thought about this. The president of Harvard is Jewish, Mr. Producer. Leo Terrell and Harris Faulkner obviously are not. And they're African American. They are defending the Jewish students. The president of Harvard is not. Now think about this, folks. It's incredible to me. More, cut 6, go.
We have to fight the fundamental problem. It is normal to hate Jews here. It's become popular. It's on social media.
How did that happen? it. It's not popular.
I'll tell you why. Because for 4 years, nothing was done to stop it in its tracks. And now it's been allowed to fester. And what happened last Friday? I went last Thursday with those 2 Israeli staffers. I was at the crime scene. I went to the embassy. It was horrific because this type of conduct should never be tolerated. And it's being tolerated only because of what did not occur for the last 4 years. We should have stopped it.
And so I want to ask Medialite, which was founded by Dan Abrams, who's also Jewish, as am I, obviously. Why don't you do stories about Trump and how he's fighting anti-Semitism? Rather than come to the defense of Harvard, come to the defense of the miscreants and malcontents that will say anything to defend Harvard, to the radical kook judges who populate our benches throughout the country. Why don't you do some stories about that? And I noticed your stories about those 2 employees at the embassy lasted about 15 seconds. What is it with you people? Sick. Absolutely sick. And then they drag out Lawrence Tribe, MSNBC, CNN, I believe, from time to time. Lawrence Tribe is a washed-up old fool. And they drag him out, and he says these horrendous things about Trump. Always, always, always. I just told you the history of Harvard. There's an entire book on this. I have it in another secret location. And it's not just Harvard. So many of these so-called Ivy League schools and their embrace of Nazi Germany, the 1930s. I'm a proud, Professor Emeritus of Harvard. Not me. I just went to Temple University Law School, and I turned out great. And you know what? They weren't involved in the Nazis promotion of the Nazis either. How about that? At least my school didn't do that. Harvard can't say that, can they, Mr. Producer? We didn't even have money for Harvard, but that's a whole different story. Cut 7, Lawrence Tribe, washed up old coot. Go ahead.
Well, it's really hard for us to know where to begin. He's obviously unhinged. He has no idea what he's talking about. He just thinks that slinging around, frankly, BS about the people at Harvard and others.
Shut up, you moron. You sound like Joe Biden to me. Your days are over as a, even back then, as a coherent individual. Sound like a buffoon. That's why they drag you out at MSNBC and these other cable networks. You'll say anything. Oh, Trump, hate, Hitler, hate. Grotesque. Then we have Mike Quigley. Who the hell is that? Nobody knows. Just another loser, Democrat from Illinois. Wow, there aren't many of those. So they're dragging all these guys on TVs Monday and Sunday. By the way, Jake Tapper's on this and his sidekicks pushing their book on the Sunday show. What is with conservatives pushing Jake Tapper's book? The guy was at the scene of the crime, if you get my point. He was part of the cover-up operation. His entire network was. And then they go on there, and conservatives say, don't buy the book. And then they can't stop talking about it, and they actually interview the guy. If only I had a magic wand. Cut 8, go.
I attended the University of Chicago, teach a class there, see firsthand the asset that these major universities are.
Now, this guy's a left-wing kook, of course. The asset that these universities are, I don't know. Has he been at the pogroms at Harvard and NYU and at Columbia and go down the list? Hundreds of colleges. Has he ever attended the Crystal Knocks that take place there on a nightly basis? Has he? No. Jerk. Go ahead.
Of the world and the research they do and the education they provide.
Thank you very much. Get lost. Now, let's see here. Then we have Zoe Lofgren. Zoe Lofgren, well, Zoe Lofgren looks like she's no longer with us, but apparently she is. She's from I guess it's the San Jose area, and she's been there forever. ever. Just another washed up nothing. Cut 9, go.
Well, let's be frank, Lawrence. If
Now, let's not be frank. Your name is Zoe, unless you're transitioning. Is she Frank, Mr. Producer? Let's be frank. Okay, Zoe, we'll call you Frank from now on. Frank Lofgren, everybody. Top 9, go.
Well, let's be frank, Lawrence. If a member of
Wait a minute. Let's be Frank Lawrence? Okay. For now on, Zoe Lofgren's name is Frank Lawrence. Would you make a note of that, Mr. Producer? Frank Lawrence, previously known as Zoe Lofgren. Go ahead.
Well, let's be frank, Lawrence. If a member of our family approaching 80 years of age posted that after midnight in all caps, our family would be trying to do an intervention and get some medical.
Oh, aren't you clever, dummy? Oh, aren't you clever? She who defended Biden to the end. She who defended Pelosi, who's sort of a female Biden, if you will. She who defended Dianna Feinstein, rest her soul. Yeah. This is a new propaganda attempt by the left. That Donald Trump is the one who has mental issues now. Donald Trump is the one that has dementia. They're so sick. They're just so damn sick and contemptible. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
We are the American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country?
Who the fuck is this guy? Holy fuck, a newcomer. Wow.
Hello, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, it's quite an echo you got going there. Shuli. What's up, Shuli? Why are you leaving? Where you going? You didn't expect me, you're a stranger, you don't expect me to leave you up there, do you? I almost look like Papa Dickless. Where you going, Shuli? Huh? Is IP2, are you fuckers? Ziggy, is your little fucking team over there trying to invade me? You think you're any match for me, Ziggy? Huh? Hal Hitler. All right, I'll let you up. There you go. There, only I can see you. What's up?
What's up, Mr. Hal?
So,
thoughts on the Jews?
I'm not Jewish.
Okay.
I'm strictly Yankee.
Oh, gotcha.
I was born here in the United States in northern New York. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Catholic.
Well, that's good.
I'm everything. Actually,
Wow.
Protestant, Methodist, Catholic, Islamic. I'm everything. Did you know that? What about the Jews? You tell me your thoughts about the Jews? Go ahead.
Do you know Shuli?
No.
You don't know Shuli?
No.
He's sneaky.
telling you this stuff is different.
I see I got some new people in my chat.
Yeah.
They'll even let you try
You're a good guy. You're a good sense of humor. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Nah, you're a good play along. We're here to make you some money.
I don't get paid for doing this.
Well, if you got PayPal, we'll pay you.
I don't have PayPal. I don't bank online. I'm not here to make money. I'm here for a different reason.
My buddy Shuley wants to come on.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. You can let him on. He'll help you.
Help me
what?
Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at Ethos.
It's a little heater. It's actually meant to go ice fishing with. It cooled off last night, so instead of turning my big furnace on, it's just a little space heater. It's a propane heater. $130, you could have one. They sell them at any fucking tool shop.
Our plan started just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the
Well, that means you're here to support the Constitution of the United States. Is that why you're here? Are you here to hold your officials you vote for responsible for what they do with the money that they control? Ain't nothing for sale here. No. I don't know. Have I seen that handle before, KJ Davenport? It seems like I have. There's so many of them, you know. You get one person has 50 emails, different accounts.
Speaker Mike Johnson on Deface the Nation Sunday.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
And I see he was on CNN Sunday. My advice to Mike is don't go on CNN.
Right. If you guys could see the guy's daughter across the street, you'd drool.
It's just a waste of time. Of course, so is me Deface the Nation with Margaret Brennan. Margaret Brennan always looks to me like she's angry or constipated or something. But another low IQ host who plays gotcha. That's all they do. They play gotcha. These aren't news programs. They're gotcha programs. And always gotcha in one direction from the left. Cut 10, go.
Before I let you go,
that's something.
Provision that was tucked into this bill. Democrats say it is weakening separation of
Okay,
powers.
so stop. So why are you quoting?
Yeah, excuse me.
How is that news? What Democrats say? Because that's what she is. That's who she knows. Who they socialize with. Democrats say it's weakening separation of powers and punishing the courts. Go ahead.
In the courts. It's a specific provision that would restrict the federal court's power to enforce injunctions with contempt unless there is a bond attached to it.
Again, this is nothing radical about this. Nothing radical about this at all. The reason they want a bond attached to it is if they lose the case, they pay for the expenses.
That's right.
Which again is a fairly common rule in Europe, which is where I'm sure they borrowed it from. But how would it stop the enforcement of injunctions? These are very wealthy petitioners, America. They're backed by billionaires. These aren't these are people who are well-funded by billionaires, by the public sector union members who may not even want to participate in it, by state attorneys general. They're all organized by this guy, Elias, this little reprobate, this Lilliputian. He looks like kind of Stelter, except uglier. If you can imagine that, Stelter but uglier. And it'll be Mark Elias with a C. And so now, oh, poor babies. They won't be able to get their injunction.
It's an empty vial. Somebody left for me.
So what? Go ahead.
About this one?
Needy, but it's causing a lot of outcry.
No, it's not causing a lot of outcry. In fact, nobody's ever heard of this until you brought it up, Missy. That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
Stripped out in the Senate anyway. Why did you bother to stick it in?
Why did you bother to put that in there? Gee willikers, I wonder why. And the Democrats, it's causing a lot of outcry. We're very upset. And why would you stick that in there? Why would you? I know it's weedy. You tucked it into the bill. What a moron. Speaker's answer. Go ahead.
We bothered to stick it in because that's our responsibility in Congress. It is about separation of powers. And right now you have activist judges, a handful of them around the country who are abusing that power. They're issuing these nationwide injunctions. They're engaging in political acts from the bench. And that is not what our system is intended for. And people have lost their faith in our system of justice. We have to restore it. And bringing about a simple reform like that is something that I think everybody should applaud.
100%. And by the way, who was it, Mr. Producer, that said we need to attach this to the spending bill to avoid the filibuster?
There.
I'll raise my hand over here. I know you can't see me, but here it is. Here it is. What else did Mr. Johnson have to say? He was on CNN. I got to try and get him on my program, which is not an easy task, even though he's a good friend. But there he is. He's on Deface the Nation, CNN. Listen, we have like 10 times more viewers than CNN. And Deface the Nation, on a good day, I beat them. It just depends. And they're a network.
On propofol.
Hello. Cut 11, go.
The CBO found that nearly 8 million Americans will in fact
It's for
lose their
an
insurance coverage
it's an
because of the
antacid
changes this bill
tablet.
makes to Medicaid. So how do you reconcile that with what
You see, once a cover-up artist like Jake Tapper is always a cover-up artist. Now, what about those 8 million matters? Tell me, fake Jake, how many of those 8 million are young men who are sound of mind and sound of body who won't work, who don't have jobs? How many? And what's the requirement in there? That they work 20 hours a week. How come you don't tell your audience that, all 7 people watching? Why not? How come you don't mention all the illegal aliens? How come, Jake? Because you're a fake, phony, and a fraud. That's why.
Jake
That's
Tapper.
right. That's why you're grifting off your book about Biden. In many cases, thanks to conservatives and media, when you are part of the perpetrators in the cover-up. Go ahead.
It's directly that said. I've said the same. We are not cutting Medicaid in this package. There's a lot of misinformation out there about this.
Sick of you fuckers lying. Oh, they're cutting Medicaid.
That are entwined in our work to eliminate.
Hope you're listening, Dutchy, since you're so worried about or concerned about our welfare system over here. Dumb fucker.
Stop right there. Can you imagine that?
Hey, Dutchy,
Some of you can't even
do I go there?
So your doctor
Yeah.
bills.
Fuck you, Wiggin.
And you have 1.4 million.
Hey, Dutchy, why don't you ask Dot how much welfare she gets for her 4 kids? Never been married. So when you go apply for WIC and food stamps, they ask you all them questions. If you got a man in the house with a job, they're going to include that in there. Because there's no way she raised those 4 kids on her income. I'm just waiting for the father of them children to fucking wait for the right time. They're going to roll over Wiggin. He's going to have all that money in his pocket, and they're going to fucking bop him in the back of the head and take his money and run. Go on, take his money and run. Steve Miller.
Not to work when they can. That is called fraud.
Yeah, it's fraud. They're cheating the system.
Those kinds of abuses,
Like you, Jeff Holler.
the resources that are
Cheating the
needed
system.
by the people who deserve it and need it most. That's what we're doing, and that's why this is the morality.
Fuck you, Jeff Holler.
Is precisely
I warned
right,
you.
and it comports with all the public opinion polls. When people ask,
I don't see how you're any better than fucking Vader.
independent should be working, everybody says yes, and that's what our package does. So these estimates that you're hearing are accurate, but it's dealing with those.
Should have worked harder in your younger life. You'd have skills today and you'd be able to find a job.
And strengthen it for those who need it most.
You can't get hired because you have no skills. Nobody wants to hire you.
Right over his head.
You think you're too good to pick tomatoes.
Another audio, and then I'll be done with the
Go to South Carolina. I guarantee you get a job picking tomatoes all day long.
I want you to hear Jasmine Crockett.
This is ugly right here. Jasmine Crockett, this fucking black bitch. We talk about Jews. Let's talk about the blacks.
But what she says is
Sick of the fucking Al Sharptons of the world.
Scott Pelley,
Fucking idiots.
who apparently ruined
There's your answer there, fucking Davenport.
Spewing his pablum. Here, folks, the media are out of the closet. They're left-wing.
No, they're an antacid. It's to settle your stomach, you dumb fucker. It's like taking the blue pill, the most expensive one. It's an antacid. I guess I could chew Rolaids. Should never eat and then go to bed, because then you will have acid reflux. Should always wait at least a half an hour. If you eat, especially if you eat a big dinner, the tendency is to relax and lay down. You don't want to just lay down. People do it, especially drunks. This is one of the things an alcoholic will do. They'll get up in the morning, they'll start drinking. They're not necessarily hungry. Beer is their food. When they do get hungry, especially late at night, right, hadn't eaten all day, they eat, and then they go right to bed. When they've had enough to drink, it's time to eat, and then right straight to bed. Yeah. Now, Wiggin, you've had how many? You've never been married, but you've had how many failed relationships? And now you're into another one, and she has a failed relationship. The father of them children are in jail somewheres or whatever. He's going to come find you, Wiggin. You're messing with another guy's woman. He might not like what you're doing. He might not approve of this. I mean, he might not want his kids around you. You ever think of that, Wiggin? Huh? You could have come up here and shut me up because I said your name, Wiggin. Come on. Come up here and shut me up, Wiggin. You punk motherfucker. Huh? I never picked a fight with you. And I know what you've been doing all along. You're jealous of me. That's why you do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. If I didn't matter, you wouldn't bother. Duh, I made you. Duh. You make shit. The only thing you made is yourself looking mad, Wiggin. That's all you did. Just make yourself look bad. Who you gonna send in here, Wiggin? You're the one. You went over to what's his name there that's with VB. Q. I went to his panel once. Follow you were up there. You went there. I went up there to fucking troll you, and it worked. Never been back since. I don't even watch him. VB, I ignore it. VB blocks me. She knows it's me. That's why I do that. Good, block me. I go into Vegas chat with you, and you won't know it's me. I've done it. You guys are fucking just fetching.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news. Award-winning series from Imperative Entertainment. Boomtown.
Ask Will Durant. He knows better. Will Durant wrote a song about me, Alicia. Baddest motherfucker in YouTube. He won't play it no more. He won't play. I had it. Fuck you, Will Durant. Excuse me.
DAV helps veterans like Latoya get the benefits they earn. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming.
Wiggin so mad that someone like Wolfster, I called her Wolfster, and she calls herself that, right? Can't even be friends with somebody. Zenny and Wolfie were very gracious to me, so there you go. They want, ever who they're friends with, whether it's Rusty or not Rusty or whatever. I don't stick my head in the girls' locker room, much as I like to. You can't do it. You gotta wait for them to come out. Unless, of course, they invite you in.
Weekdays 6 to 9 p.m. Listen to this, would you? News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
So I had a good day today because Wiggin blocked me out of Vegas. And he cried to people about it. Fucking hating. Fucking hating. Oh, it's going to be rain coming off his face. The girl's been passed around, you know what I mean? Bought and paid for how many times? Her ass is for sale. That's all there is to it. I mean, you could say women cost money. If you're going to have a woman, you're going to, you know, you got to pay her way. Any woman I've been with, I've paid her way.
I'm not going to play Pelham anyway. Such a jackass. The Crockett we need to play, and I will play it tomorrow, and I will explain.
Oh, he's not going to play it now?
I promised I'd go to some callers.
So
Debbie,
he's going to take phone
Chadwick,
calls.
Missouri, the great KSGF. Debbie, how are you?
I am good, and my contribution tonight is just what you had talked about earlier, the first segment about Israel, and it really bugs me. But it made me think about
Israel has a right to defend itself.
where he tells any nation that goes against Israel will incur his wrath.
We elect people into office to take care of diplomatic things. So if we give money to them, whatever, we giving money to other, right? Trying to keep world peace, prevent another Hitler from coming up. I know, you know, Logical would fucking love to be Hitler. Another Hitler. The FDU. The FDU.
More Christians need to think about that. You know, the Bible says the fear of the Lord.
Face
is the
diapers.
beginning
Duh.
of wisdom. And if you don't fear God,
You guys think something's funny and it's not.
And
It is
really,
not
you know, made me
in
think
it.
that I think that more people need
In
to
it. In it. Isn't it?
hear
Isn't it?
that and
In it.
understand that.
All the people of Israel want to do is live. They don't attack their neighbors; they defend themselves.
Yeah.
And if they would surrender to Hamas tonight, agree to a ceasefire for a period of years, like Qatar has been advising Hamas to demand, and everybody would feel great except the Israelis. Because they know that Hamas will come back and come back. They've done it. They know Iran, if they get a nuke, will attack them. They know that Hezbollah had 180,000 missiles, and they took out Hezbollah. Just imagine living under these circumstances day in and day out, just because you're Jewish. And then you're being told, you're a lady of the Bible, then you're being told that they're indigenous lands given to them by God.
Yeah, I'm not Jewish.
And that they need to get out of the land or they're going to be massacred. Now that's where the Holy Land is. You want to see the history of ancient Judaism and Christianity.
Pollen's getting to me.
You go there. You go to Jerusalem. You go to Judea.
Oh, here we go with the fucking olive oil. Here comes stick arms. Stick boy. Olive oil.
Where he would wash.
You're such a man, acid drip.
Others. So they could see again. So they could.
Acid drip. That was so funny watching you doing that fucking push-ups. You tried once, you couldn't do it. You tried second time, you couldn't do it, and you laughed about it. I guess I give you credit for that.
Touch the walls. It's an amazing thing for people who haven't been.
I like to see Gotti do a push-up.
And so, for the Palestinians, where are the Palestinians in the Bible? They don't exist. And so for the Palestinians to say, from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free, means the eradication of the Jewish people. And the reason why there's such a close association.
They're chanting death to these people.
Christianity and Jews who understand Judaism is because we understand the Judeo-Christian ethic that one relies on the other. And there wouldn't be a United States of America, as Governor DeSantis just said, but for those two faiths. And I want to thank you for your beautiful call. Which brings me to Christians United for Israel, 11.
I don't know if Unruly's been in my chat. If he's under another name that he used, I don't know. Very possible.
The time period.
There you go.
Potential, but also tremendous peril.
Sometimes unruly makes me laugh.
Redrawn negotiations with an Iranian Islamic Nazi regime that wants to blow our country and Israel off the face of the earth. Well, Israel's right in the middle of it. Many believe that Israel enemies are our enemies. Well, listen to them.
Unruly could be anybody. Every fucking buddy in these chats are unruly. All of you are unruly. Every single fucking one of you. Seriously.
11 million members is leading the charge to help keep America on Israel's side. Given the
seriously
that have poured into this country.
Wiggins unruly. Patrick Rowe is unruly. Right? Logical's definitely unruly.
Next month,
right?
Thousands of pro-Israel Americans
sit there and wait for me to enter a chat. It's been how long now? Oh, JC, make everybody love Logical.
Family members will be there. The great pastor who founded Kufi.
I wasn't part of that clique, but I was around. I wasn't here in 2016, but I was here in 2017.
When you're there, you're going to learn from leading Middle East experts. So you'll want to make your voice heard. We control history. And if we don't, somebody else does. God gives us free will. Register for the 20th annual Kufi Washington Summit today at kufi.org. That's Christians United for Israel. Kufi.org. Use promo code Levin.
Yo, you are one ignorant motherfucker. Acid drip. You and them skinny little fucking arms. It's fucking pathetic that you fuck.
Of world history. Again, that's Kufi.
You're an idiot.
Use promo code Levin.
Just a dumb motherfucker. Acid drip. Alpesh Patel. Holy fuck. Grabbing hold of you would be like grabbing hold of a. Holy fuck.
All right. Let us continue. Yes, we can. Let us go to John.
Wow, how big your wrists are. I bet your wrist. You're fucking.
I'm great. I'm back.
And I don't really have great big hands. Strong hands. You stupid fucker. You give England a bad name. You really do. You give Englishmen a bad name. You actually thought, Zenny, you were going to be able to get a piece of that.
Joe Pollock, who's a brilliant guy, he writes at Breitbart, a dear friend of mine in the program. He said that was never the
those two girls are fucking evil.
They cannot basically refine uranium. Which leads
Do you think Adam still loved Eve after she had him eat the apple and he fucking all of a sudden he had knowledge? Like, is this the only fucking chick on earth? God, can I get a new woman?
No centrifuges. Not with the United States over.
Because if you look at it, we're all inbreds. Because if it started with Adam and Eve, we all come from the same parents, grandparents, great-great-grandparents, on and on and on and on, eons for eternity. So we're all inbred.
I don't understand. What is it? Why are we? And it's clear.
White is a color. White is a color. It's not absent of color. White is a color. Therefore, I'm a person of color. So aren't you, CB? You just, Robert Byrd said it on the floor of the Senate. He said white niggers.
I don't like the way we talk to a prime minister. We don't talk to the enemy this way. To the Qatari inbreds, to the Saudi Arabian inbreds, to the Iranian inbreds. We ought not to be talking to Netanyahu this way either. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
You're spot on. And I think the deeper problem is that this is a generational issue. They teach their young children, they warp the minds of their young children to hate Jews in particular, let alone anybody else. I mean, this is a big problem.
And they hate the West. They hate us. They hate us. They hate us. They do.
And Mark, this is what I called in the first time. It's like, at what point are they, because everybody uses our own rules against them. Oh, we have free speech, you have due process, you have this. So you allow the enemy got at the door. it's in the bedroom now. The way I feel like, like the Toby Q song, when the wolf knocks at the door.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I feel like it's in my daggum bedroom while I'm sleeping now. That's how I really feel.
Now, you called us about this Texas Islamist Center, right?
Yes, sir. And I want to thank you so much because I'm busy. I work with my hands. So, I called you up and whatnot. You did your episodes, I want to say, the following week, so the first week of April. And I'm so proud because I hear Charlie Kirk talking about it. Glenn Beck. I guess Andrew Cuomo just made a very sharp and pointed statement about this.
John, in part that's thanks to you calling in here. And I knew when I started talking about it, we'd take it national because it's frightening. And it's not just happening in Texas. There's a place in Florida. They're happening. This is intentional to build these sort of little French safe haven enclaves that are purely Islamist, that use Islamist law. And this is what the Islamists in the Middle East are exporting. They're doing this intentionally. And I'm not going to sit here and shut the hell up while this is going on right in front of our eyes.
No, I want to thank. That's why I popped in my head because I just heard the Cuomo version of reiteration because it's everywhere. But I want to thank you because I didn't hear a peep about this until you went national and did your thing, which unfortunately I missed your Fox Sunday show. But I mean, man, I hear about it everywhere now, and I love it. I love it because and now they're kind of trying to rechange their tactics. But get this, the city of Plano, the mayor of the city of Plano, Mayor Munn, is just with both lips kissing both cheeks of this East Plano Islamic Center. It is.
I know. Is he a Republican?
They think that they're not going to be hit also. Do they think
is he a Republican?
You know what? I think he's a rhino. He's fake to be Republican.
Yeah, we got one of those in Loudoun County, Virginia, too. The Republicans, these rhino Republicans, seem to think that if you embrace this kind of an attitude, that will win elections. Really, is that what it's about? Is that what it's about? It's funny. I do more to try and defend innocent Muslims than anybody else. Anybody else in broadcasting. I just posted about what's going on in Iran to the Muslims there, the Persian people there, what they're doing to Muslim people there, raping the girls and the women, torture prisons, murdering them.
Wow, they cut them off.
Jerks.
There he's back.
You go around saying, well, I'm defending Muslims. No, you're not. You're defending Islamist regimes that hate their fellow Muslims. They kill more Muslims than anybody else kills Muslims. Syria.
Now you know why I got on your case, Cat?
Saudi Arabia.
Now you know why I wanted you to drop that flag.
All right, John,
you're not Palestinian.
Keep up the good work. Call us anytime because you really
you're not from there.
Interest in this Plano, Texas Islamist community.
And it's not right.
Which is absolutely outrageous. Take care of yourself, brother. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Rum his back wouldn't set a foot here. If he did that here, he'd get his fucking broad. He'd probably, yeah, he'd be knocked out for sure. That motherfucker would be dragged. You're an idiot, Rum. You and your little friend Vanguard, you guys are idiots. Whippermano, you're all a bunch of fucking punks. Nothing but hooligans from Europe. That's all you are. Oh, what Whippermano thinks he is, but that motherfucker is a space cadet. He's out there. Something ain't right with that boy. I think somebody took his wooden shoes away from him or something. I have no fucking idea.
Sign up today at
Radio program's almost over with, so I'm going to be going here pretty soon. Anybody want to come up on the panel, start some shit? What happened to the guys that didn't last long? They dressed a little weird, but I didn't want to leave them up here for everybody to see because don't know what, can't be showing guys' dicks and shit like that. Some guy sucking a guy's dick. You guys did that to a couple of people.
There's a whole lot missing here in this story, isn't there?
So it's like porn bombers are a community out here. Now let's talk about that. Okay, Ziggy talks about your community, this community. Hey Ziggy, it says YouTube community guidelines. So it's one community. We're all in one community.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back. I think the boundaries are getting a little unboundaried, but that's fine. From relationships,
Of course, Ziggy would never dare come up here on his own. He did. The time he did, he fucking screeched and hollered and yelled and wanted to insult me, so I fucking kicked him. And you know what they do. Fucking about as immature as they come. Sincerely ignorant. If you choose to worship the devil, then you know you're going to be judged by the words you use, and you're going to be judged by the people you surround yourself with. That's all there is to it. Doug wouldn't come up here if he didn't trust me.
Stop the text. Stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at Stop Texting.
Well, he could probably tell you that, you know, I can back my words up.
How do kids heal faster?
DA thinks he can fist fight me.
Children's Foundation delivers happiness through gaming, toy deliveries, and more to hospitals across the country.
DA, about first time you take a swing at me, I just counter. I hit you in the eardrum, and your lights will go out. And I won't even hit you with a closed fist. I'll drive the palm of my hand right into your fucking ear.
Make sure they can pay the mortgage.
I've done it to people.
Bills if something happens to you. With Ethos, you can get covered in as little as 10 minutes, 100% online. Get a free quote.
I've been punched in the face.
/legacy. That's ethos.com/legacy.
Swung at.
You know, Americans love using their credit cards.
Knife pulled on me.
Hassle-free ways to pay.
That didn't work out well for the guy. Couldn't believe he fucking pulled a knife on me. Like, oh, fuck.
Allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards.
I thought to myself real quick, the eardrum or in the throat. He's got a knife. Kill shot is right there. You punch anybody in the throat. All it takes is a karate chop. I double my fist up and I'm able to get to your fucking throat. It's gonna hurt. Knife in your hand or not. I ain't like him pulling a knife on me. I hit him instantly, right in the eardrum.
Everybody that Iran must not get a nuclear weapon. If whatever this agreement that's being negotiated, and I said I'm sure they've taken the military off the table, and I can hear what the White House is saying. The envoy. If this is not ironclad in every respect,
drunk and a fucker.
The fallout from any such proposed deal is going to be, I think, massive. Congress does have a role, whether people want it to or not.
I cooperate with cops. I don't run from cops. If I get away, fine, but I don't do things where I have to evade them.
That will also involve not just the Senate, but the House of Representatives, as it did under Obama. You're going to have Republicans called out as hypocrites, who are on the record making speeches about the Obama deal, even apart from what's in the deal, but requiring a role for the Senate, and at least all of Congress, if they bypass the treaty provision. I'm a constitutionalist. That's where I stand. Come hell or high water, no matter what. No matter what. Treaty's a treaty. Well, we haven't treated these as treaty. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. That's why I was the first to write about it over the weekend. There should be no surprise about this. People put their hand on the Bible and their other hand in the air, and they swear to uphold the Constitution. It's right there in plain English. This isn't even confusing. But it won't just be from the Jewish community. There are tens of millions of other people, including Christians and evangelical Christians and people with just common sense, that do not want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. And people are not going to be fooled by media types and others who say, well, they're not going to get a nuclear weapon. We're going to be involved in their centrifuges. If they have active centrifuges, spinning centrifuges, that means the next administration, they can build a nuclear weapon. And how do we know they're not, if they're not hiding from us the way they did UN inspectors? So when you make deals with terrorists, when you sign documents with terrorists, just like when you sign it with inbred communist regimes like North Korea, you can be sure that they're going to violate it. Because that's their mindset. They're not there, we have an agreement. We better stick by it. So the whole thing is actually quite perverse. But we shall wait and see. We shall wait and see. But if it's not ironclad, we're going to know it's not ironclad. And Congress is going to want to roll, certainly those who believe in the Constitution.
Hey, Rocky, I just noticed I was reading Vegas chat.
We're going to look at this, and I'll tell you, thumb up, thumb down.
Gotti's in there, and there. It looks like Acid Drip is getting beat up tonight pretty bad. Acid Drip isn't having a good day right now, Rocky. They're all after him, and it's funny as hell. All right, I appreciate it. Well, I was going to do this anyways. Mark Levin's over with. I've already had a couple of guests up here. Anybody thinks they want to come up and got something to say, I got a few minutes, and then I'm going to go make me some dinner. Come back later. I got everybody motivated. Yeah, getting dark out. I moved my furniture around, vacuumed my carpet and all that, and all the lamps are way over there. Yeah, I was leaving anyways. Yeah, Gotti's already been up here, and somebody they were gonna porn bomb me, but somebody new is here. I'm not sure who it is. He had some kind of disguise on. Now I forget his fucking name, what he called himself. Anyways. Yeah, I'm hoping it's just some good jokers having fun. I don't mind that. Yeah. I've been a bad boy, Rocky, so I probably better take a break and stay out of chat for a minute. I seem to have upset a couple of people. I probably shouldn't have. Well, Gotti's in there right now. They're all in there fucking throwing Acid Drip. Yeah, they're all throwing Alpesh Patel, the man who can never do a push-up. You imagine him in 6th grade getting picked for dodgeball? Rocky, 5th, 6th grade, play dodgeball. I look forward to gym, You never know. He might have been one of them kids, them what we used to use for dodgeballs, the rubber balls. He probably could, with those skinny little arms, he probably could catch one of those fuckers, no problem. He's probably good catching. I hit him right in the face with one of them fuckers. So, Rocky, Father's Day is next, so happy Father's Day. Then we'll be celebrating the 4th of July, Rocky. I got thing in the mail, reservations, my 45th class reunion, the 11th and the 12th of July. You might not see me. I was going to tell Dougie that. Dougie, don't come on the 5th, Doug. And don't come on the 11th or the 12th. That's Friday and Saturday night, the 11th and 12th. The 5th is on a Thursday. So Doug's supposed to come up, Rocky. Or he says he is. I do here. Yeah. Oh, my old girlfriend's in charge of the whole thing. So, yeah, $35, and I'll be eating dinner at the Governor Golf and Country Club. Informal together Friday night at the Casablanca. Yeah, we still have the restaurant Casablanca. There's a story behind that. I don't want to get into that. They think I'm bad. I should tell us. I don't want to do it because I'm friends with the owners. I grew up with the owners. Didn't make our 40-year class reunion in 2020 because of the COVID bullshit. So 45 years I've been out of high school. All right, Rocky. Anybody else in chat? My meter reads 4. I'll be back later. I'm going to end it. See you on the flip side. Yeah, I'll probably go to Vegas too as I'm making my dinner. Maybe. I might just sit and watch.